Welcome back to Fairy Tale Anime Reviews, special episode number 17. I was originally planning to do this last night, but I got interrupted due to dinner and the fact I had to leave, and when I got back, it was too late, so I couldn't do this one. I'm doing this now. This one I'm reviewing the 284th episode of Fairy Tale, which is, when I get up to it, it's called Memoirs. Yep. This one is adapted from chapters 436 and 437. I would say a good majority of this episode, I would say most of it, I'd say about 90% of this episode is basically the backstory of the main villain of the franchise, Zeref. Explains like how he got his power, where apparently he was researching a way to bring back his dead brother. Yeah, researching via finding out that was forbidden anyways. Eventually he got cursed. Yeah, that's pretty much of the reasoning why wherever he goes, everything just decays. Yes. And then eventually, because he lived for so long, he wanted to have some people kill him. So he created the Books of Zeref, one of whom happened to be END. And we finally get an explanation in this episode what END stands for. I think it's like Eteros, I think it is. Not so Dragonal. Yep. That's what END stands for. And the book itself is actually right near him, why he started talking to himself of basically his backstory. Yep. And he also explains, like, the demons of Tartarus. Yes, the villains from the previous arc. Not this arc that just wrapped up with this episode. The previous arc. Yeah, the same group of people who kidnapped Urza and Lysana in the manga, where he had them both stripped butt naked. I'm not kidding, but in the anime, at least Lysana managed to keep her clothes on, and in the case of Urza, they kept, like, a shirt on her. Yeah, they say in the manga the reason why that they were stripped butt naked, because they were beneath them, and they thought they probably had no reason to wear clothes anyways. Though all those demons were killed. Yep, they are in fact, now I've heard many times that nobody actually dies in Fairy Tail. Technically, that's untrue. Well, all the demons of Tartarus got killed. Yes, every single one of them got killed. And the only other character to get killed off, aside from demons of Tartarus, and pretty much most of the Dark Guild, I think it's like Blackheart, I think it is. Yeah, and most of that guild got killed off too. Yeah, a lot of characters, mostly they're just minor character. Well, they're usually like one-star characters, and they appear again. It's interesting, though, that for people who watch the anime, it's like, okay, we referenced Tartarus, which was the previous arc for this one. Though in the anime, it was basically, it was the Fairy Tail Zero, that arc. But present-day stuff, it was Tartarus was the preceding arc. Yep, and then pretty much like after Zeref is like finished explaining his backstory, he's like, okay, I'm going to visit a certain guy to exceed my plans. And that's the last you see Zeref, and of course he does come back a few episodes later. Excuse me, he does come back in the following arc. And we have Lucy, Wendy, Natsu, Happy, and Carla end up in Magnolia. Magnolia is the town that generally where Fairy Tail takes place. And from everybody else's point of view, this is the first time in a year that they've actually been there. And also they show in a flashback of Makarov disbanding Fairy Tail. And everybody is against it. It's a terrible idea. And because he's a master, he disbanded anyway, just do whatever the heck they want. And then eventually even though Lucy sent letters to all the members that she can find, she told them to come back, we're going to rebuild Fairy Tail. Because Natsu's back, obviously. And she's worried and very nervous that nobody is going to come. And then they're like halfway there, and then Kana shows up completely out of nowhere. Explain what the heck she explains what she's been up to during the time skip. She went looking for her father, Gildarts, a guy who loves to travel a lot. So much so that he abandoned his wife and child. Though she has partially forgiven she's sort of reconciled with him, but she hasn't forgiven him for abandoning her mother. Yep. And she's got slightly different attire than when she was last seen. She's got like a new top and a new armband. She's got different pants. Mostly everybody else is mostly the same, with the exception now. And Ganjol Levy, and Panther all retired from the magic the custodial unit. They retired from that to rejoin her. Jet and Droid look pretty much the same exact outfits. Uh, the Strauss siblings all got brand new attire. So Asana is wearing sort of a revealing outfit in a way, though she's wearing like fishnets in front of it, and of course Lucy is just crying tears of joy. She's happy to see everybody, and she gives Mira Jade a hug because she hasn't seen her in like over a year. hmm Yeah. But the end of this episode pretty much sets up the start of the next arc, which is the Alvarez Empire arc. Yep. Overall, this arc was pretty good. So, pretty much for the anime, it kept in a lot of stuff. They do add some stuff here and there. Like, they do change what happened with Sherry. Yeah, in the manga, Natsu, when he uses his fire, he partially burned off her skirt. Here, just barely scorched. With some minor changes here and there, but mostly story-wise, they keep everything in. But it is something, though, that this is probably nothing unusual for the anime to do this, where Fairy Tail's strongest team defeats Avatar, no problem, defeating very easily. And of course, Lucy does not mention the fact that Urza is wearing a completely different outfit than she was last seen. First, yeah, and she also mentioned she has to go contact Jalal to basically confirm what's been happening. To inform what happened with Avatar. Yep. Though no one's gonna bring up the fact that her armor is revealing her cleavage. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the viewer basically is very happy to see that part of Urza, but no one comments about that in the show. Yeah. This overall was a good episode. It's a great, because all this episode mostly is like I said, just the origin of Zeref. I mean, that's what the episode should have been called, The Origin of Zeref, instead of just Memoirs. But Memoirs is a good title, because if they called The Origin of Zeref, it'd be way too obvious. And I think Memoirs was a great title for this one. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Next week's episode is the 7th Guild Master. I'm looking forward to this one, and I know for a fact who's going to be the 7th Guild Master. It's Urza. Yep, but until you see you next review, bye.